Dragger Studio. I did beat Tim over the head and drag him all the way from Oregon and brought him in studio. Wednesday night, beautiful night here in Wisconsin. Very excited to have my co-host here live with me. Tim, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome. Yeah, it's a good day.
Marielle, if you're listening, text Tim and let me know how his audio is doing. And I'll fix it if it's a little bit low. Hey, I can do that.
Keep talking. All right. Well,
that'll be better, I bet, right there. Well, Tim, you are in Wisconsin. He said it was chilly. It's beautiful if you're from Wisconsin, but
a little nippy, but it's nice. It is beautiful. The grass is lush, and I remember the grass as a kid, and I had to qualify that here. The grass as a kid in Wisconsin, where you could just roll on the grass, is so soft. Didn't make you itch.
No chiggers.
No chiggers. No chiggers. No fire ants.
Oh, that is Texas.
Yeah. So we're starting off. I think the first things first is, man, Chris has got an amazing, beautiful family. That is awesome. Right. I mean, I'm just telling you, you've done a great job. So that's first things first. Not in, that's like the far pinnacle priority. The next stuff is just simple things. I got my methyl blue.
And I'm just learning about methyl blue. If nobody's ever heard about it, you're not alone.
Yeah, I'm going to get some for Chris. You can't really see it. I don't know if there's a camera edge here. You can see the blue. Can you see the blue there?
Oh, yeah. It's like Gatorade. It's like your blue Gatorade, right?
Mm-hmm. Only much better. And then, we hear back from Eric yet?
Langernecker, no. But he does have the invite, so he will show up if he comes
All right. So, Chris, you got some gifts in the mail this week, it looks like.
I did, Tim.
Right up here.
I bet they're from Marielle. They're not from Tim.
They're not from me.
I got a new lighter. Boy, it's going to be hard because the camera's way over there. But let me...
Where is the camera? Oh, I see. You get a new lighter.
That's new lighter?
Cool. Yeah, it's got a draw stick on it.
So is this the one like you were showing us the other time? That's got the circle. Yeah. What do you call the circle?
It's a punch.
A punch?
A punch. And then it's got a draw stick. You can harm some people with it, but it's really
tactical, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and it's got and that little draw stick is...
Boy, you could really jack some...
Yeah, you can. You can mess people up. And the cool thing about it is it's got a little arch on the top where you can put a cigar. It holds a cigar for you.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
That
is a awesome cigar lighter, and
that
it's
is
not
phenomenal.
that expensive. You turn it on the bottom to turn it up or down, and then you fill it full of fuel.
And it's camo.
It's
tactical. Yeah. Now that's a cool lighter. I'll tell you, Kate loved this lighter.
Yeah.
This is really cool. It's got a clock.
Yeah.
But it's a pistol up here.
Yeah, it's got a little pistol, revolver, right?
Yes.
And a soft light. It's got a torchlight on it, but it looks like a soft light. The old school soft light.
Nice.
Fill it in the bottom the same way. So when we get your fuel in, you'll learn you can purge those. You empty them out of air, fuel, basically the air first, so then you can pump it full of fuel.
I got some pure fuel with zero, it says.
Yeah.
And then a whole bunch of like straws for different.
Yeah, that'll work out great. So what else you got here in a
So,
box?
Then I have
You need to rip that thing open.
Fat Bottom Betty, and I will. I did. I was nervous to open it because I don't have my little the humidity pads.
Yeah, the Bovitas.
So, but
Bovitas
they're on the way.
Yeah, they have these little packs, the Bovita packs, that are 65%, 69%. Probably they have some that are 72. You can choose what you want.
I got 72s.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's people like to keep their cigars between 65 and 72%.
Okay.
And so what that is the Bovita packs are equalizers. They're not desiccators, that dry things out or keep things dry. They match whatever the thing is. Oh, you can put that on the camera. I don't. So those are
So
Fat Bottom Betties by Drew Estate.
and these so I've smoked a cigar. I've never smoked a cigar that didn't have a plastic tip, and I didn't have to unwrap the individual black and mild. So coming into a box is very rare for me. I've never had anything like this before.
Yeah, open that up and
Holy
show the crowd.
shit.
This is a nice box of cigars.
Bro.
Yeah.
Look at this. Not even having a kid.
Awesome. And then I brought some of my favorites. Steve Saka with Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. I don't know where you hold this, but I got the little coffins.
Oh, I did. And this didn't come with the cigar. This is something you would travel with.
No, it came with the cigar.
Oh, this is how it comes.
Yeah. So I just grabbed them to travel.
There's the camera way up there on the light.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow. These are phenomenal. They smell like good wood.
Yeah,
that didn't smell like plyboard, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all cedar, so and Spanish cedar to boot. So this is a Maestro de Saka, and it's a good
he is in the he is
in the house
in the chat.
All right,
what up, E?
Good to hear.
I did send you an invite. I do know that the kids were in the living room, so it probably wasn't going to work out. But he is might be a part of our new fun stuff we got going on.
Oh, that's awesome. Good to hear from you.
All right, let's get into the cigar.
Okay, so this one is Unstolen Valor, and it's one of Steve Saka's cool, nice cigar. It's a nice cigar. A lot of little golden ribbon here. I know you can't see it on a camera, so if you hand me your brand spanking new lighter, because I'm gonna
come over here because I want to see this.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a hole punch. This is a little V cut, my travel V cut.
Okay.
And I got a travel
because it was hard to kind of pay attention to when you were on the camera. This will be way better.
This is my favorite way. It's just I use the I don't press the cigar into it. I press it into the cigar and I just circle it. It's a tech deal. It's a tech job. The cigar is a little dry because it's been traveling, so you got to watch it so it doesn't crack. That's why you want them humed up.
Okay.
So see how that's all you really need to do. That's the depth of it. Take it out, and you punch it, and it'll pop right out onto your coffin.
All right. I'm going to try one.
Yeah, come on.
Is this the same kind of hole punch I would use for a Black Betty?
Yeah.
Lamb to lamb. Oh, Black Betty.
I do a V-cut or a hole punch.
I'm like a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you're gonna that's got a little. It's a little. It's not a fused cigar, but it has a little sweetness to it. It's like a little honey dip. Drew Estates is pretty big on that. They also make acid cigars or whatever. So, but I like the Fat Bottom Betties.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I just smelt that, you smell sometimes floodback memories of Levi Garrett fishing with Grandpa with a big old Levi Garrett in the side of my mouth.
Okay, so you take off the bottom band. Oh no, you're gonna do the punch. You can do the punch first.
Yeah. Let me use the lighter, just like you did.
You got the lighter right there.
So take this. How come they have one on here?
This one had one on too. It's at the foot. It's kind of fancy.
Okay. Right? So the bottom's the foot.
Yeah. So they do that. So sometimes they get banged up and because that's where the open tobacco is.
Yeah.
They just put it to keep it tight.
Okay.
There.
That's fair.
And but they're really not necessary. A lot of cigars don't come with them, but they're just kind of, they really take a lot of pride in their wrappers.
They do. Their boxes.
That's
beautiful.
It's an art.
That's real wood. I thought it was. I didn't. It's actual wood.
Yeah, it's real wood.
But so is this.
So is this. These boxes. I saved those boxes. I just can't. And sometimes I'll use them to put screws in or whatever. But then primarily I just stack them up on top of my humidor.
For sure.
Yeah,
Fat bottom Betty, you don't think I'm going to put weed in that? You're on crack. I'm putting weed in that. All right. So, Tim, so I got this cigar. Bunch. I'm going to press this into the cigar, not vice versa.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Right in the middle?
Right in the middle. Drum roll. Please.
Why does that go so easy?
Yeah, that's cool. That's really all you need. You don't need to force it. It's just done. That's all you need. You want about a dime, just blow straight up, and it's okay. That thing, you want about a dime thickness. So that's plenty thick. I mean, way Good. More than necessary.
Okay.
When you're done smoking, when you get to the end of that hole's gonna be wide open. So I love just a little hole is just fine. That's a perfect punch.
Okay.
And even if I do, this is a V cut.
Yep.
And it's just this is what they give you for free at the cigar store if you're traveling. Just take this, right? Because it's like 30 cents. So I've got a really nice Calabria one. It's metal and copper and whatever. So, and the V cut, this is a deep V cut. You think, you put it in on this side. I'm pointing this, but you really, I just nick it.
Yeah.
Nick it. You don't really.
Because it opens up as you smoke.
Opens up as you smoke, and you don't want it all falling out anyway.
Now I'm going to watch you light it. Because it seems to be a technique in every step here.
So, yeah. So you got that's a 3. And this one is a single, so it's got a single light. And so it takes a little bit more to light with a single. Get in there. Where do we go here? There we go. Burn the cable. And so I'm just gonna. You want to get it toasted.
Shoot, He is here.
Eric's online. All right.
I had no idea. Rumble. Something's funky here. It's not working.
Now this is already dirty. This is a grinder cap.
That's our ashtray.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna need an ashtray. Did Eric make a visit?
Eric, go out and come back in. Something is not allowing me to let you in. Weird.
So good.
It's not letting me use that at all. We might have to start and stop really quick. Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let me do that so we can get E in because he's got some stuff to say. I know it. Hang on. Let me see if this works real quick.
So you did.
All right, let's try this. All right, E, if you can come back in, I think it'll. Is he in there?
Can he hear you? If he can't hear you, we'll have to text him, right?
Nah, there he is. He's coming now. He's right here. He just gotta get his mic and shit up. All right.
Did you say you got a Bovita pack coming? Did you order one
today? Yeah, my lighter fluid and a whole bunch of Bovita packs, like a whole bag of them.
Cool.
All right. Let's see if I can't fuck this up. Am I doing it all right?
You're doing fine. Now that one is kind of interesting because it's got the wrap goes over the end where mine was just open tobacco. So you get to light the wrap, which is it lights pretty good. Oh yeah, that's awesome. You're good.
But you don't inhale them.
No. You retrohale.
What's that mean?
That means after a while.
What? It tastes sweet on my lips.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That's a whole different experience than a cigarette.
Yeah. Now this one I won't be sweet, but I have a little
Oh my God, that tastes
leather
great.
taste. Isn't that good?
Yes. I'm just not good at puffing them. Marielle's probably laughing at me.
Okay, so when I light, I often will blow on it to make sure it's got all around, and you do. And then it can be just an easy draw. And when I say don't inhale, that's true. But for you, because you're a past cigarette smoker,
Yeah.
you take it right in your lungs.
Yeah. It's hard not to.
Right. So I
Get up on the mic.
So I breathe it
Yeah.
up. That's retrohale. So I let some smoke out, then I'll bring it up through the back of the top of the mouth, and then into the nose and blow just a little bit out the nose, and I get that whole flavor. Most people smoke cigars too fast, right? And so you have to slow down, and you slow down not by taking less puffs. I mean, that's part of it, but you slow down by not a big draw. You just a nice little to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's the key. And they talk about it. Slows everything down. It'd be really good for you.
Yeah.
Slows everything down. So
Tim has just met, like we've just met in real life today, and I think he realizes what kind of an ADHD kid I am.
well,
I'm always going 90 mile an hour.
In the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's powerful. You don't want to stop that. You want to harness it. And the harnessing it is with awareness and riding it as opposed to fighting against it or letting it run you, right? Because you can have a hard time focusing. So, Mr. E, is he there?
Yeah. You just got to turn his stuff on. If you turn on your camera and your mic, E, you'll pop up, I think.
He say something?
It says you're muted and your camera will come on, E, as soon as you turn it. It's down at the bottom. There's a little microphone, a little camera. So I legitimately, Tim, was not expecting the sweetness.
Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Now I got that's Drew Estates, the Deadwood. No, I think it was a Deadwood. It's Deadwood. I should get my cigars right. That's Deadwood tobacco, made by Drew Estates. So Fat Bottom Betty. They also have Sweet Jane, and then the Girl with No Name. All of those have that little sweet taste to them, and they're good for, if Kate wanted to have one with you, just to
boom.
Try. There he is.
Does this work? Is this working? Can you?
Yeah, you're in. Hang on, I gotta fix the camera now.
Eric, how are you?
Hey, top of the evening. I was so happy to hear you say the words methylene blue because I've been wondering, is this stuff safe? Should I be taking it? There's 90 different brands and they all say that they're the one that you should buy and all the other ones are sketchy. I have a dude I can ask. This is exciting. But I don't want to get you off the topic of cigars.
No, that's a good topic. In fact, we started out, that was our number 2 point. Number 1 thing I was just commenting on, the gods on Mount Olympus are shining on our buddy Chris. What a beautiful family he has, man. It's just like
I tell you what, it's Norman Rockwell over there. Every time I go over there, I said that whole cul-de-sac is a slice of Americana.
That's awesome. It really is pretty special. So then I brought up methyl blue. I'm having my remnants from this morning's drive of methyl blue.
Do you know what that is, E?
I know that RFK is into it, and a bunch of other dudes who are healthy at an older age are into it.
Okay, so you heard about it. I've
It-
never heard about it. It's new for me.
It's a dye that they use to dye blue jeans with, but someone
Yeah.
consumed it, or no, they gave it to rats. The rats' brains turned blue, and they realized that they were doing something that I'm not smart enough to understand.
Actually, it has a history of quite some time. It's one of the oldest medical types. I don't want to call it a drug. And when you use the term methylene and blue and dye, you're not thinking of something that might be healthy, right?
Exactly.
So, and I'm pretty I'm not into synthetic anything. So I was concerned, but then you look at it, it's got a long, long history. And some of the first surgeries where they needed dyes, they used this. And now I think it's still used in, you can like sockets or whatever in like knee joints or something to see how things are coming through. But the benefits of it are what they noticed. And I'm not a historian on it myself. I could read up on it and get back to you. But here's the reality. There are a lot of places that make it, and there is a huge difference. I've seen the difference in the real stuff versus the not so good stuff, right? And even the not so
You
good
don't want
stuff.
to take that stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I say not so good, I'm talking about different levels of uh, just efficacy or strength, right? So
Okay.
you don't want to drink anything bad, and a lot of things, even in the what I would call nutraceutical or medical foods. A lot of times they put excipients in them. Um, and excipients is a fancy term. It just means it's fillers or other things that they use to mass produce it. If they're going to put it in capsule, those encapsulating machines take, in essence, like grease to make things go smooth, but it's not grease. They use different types of chemicals, and they may be small amounts, but you don't. I don't want to take bad stuff to overcome the good. So, you have some companies they claim to be excipient free, and they typically are. They get inspected and they don't use any excipients. In fact, they're using the material. They figure out ways to manufacture things so that they don't have to bring the crap in, like the silica, which is just sand,
Oh,
or other things that are detrimental. So in looking at methylene blue, I found, and I've got a couple sources here. I found, people who I trust, they go to their compounding pharmacist and get it made, right? But that's not going to be your everyday John and Doe and Jane to go and be able to find. I got my local compounding pharmacist; they'll make it.
Yeah, in Menominee Falls,
Yeah,
I do know one.
I don't have one in the Rolodex.
I got a guy, E.
So-
well, then we're good.
then so there's I'm gonna look this up real quick. Of all places, you'll appreciate this. Our good buddy, none other than Alex Jones. I
He's got the best stuff.
He's got the best stuff. I mean, I've looked at the test results and where he's getting it, and lo and behold, it's clean. And I've tried it. I'm drinking it now, and I'll have to tell you, it's good. It's really good, and I am again. I'll find it before the show's up, and we'll throw it up there. There's another company that makes it that I really like. It's really clean, and so there's a big difference in how people notice the effects of it. So I'm kind of a sensitive. Everybody knows I'm a sensitive guy. It's a manly thing to be. More is not better, and I'm not seeing that when I research it. I'm not seeing some of the claims that people make are just scientifically not true. It's not gonna. I don't think it detoxes you. I don't think it heals any mitochondria. I think what it is it's an accentuator, meaning it brings clarity and focus. And I think it, and you can use it with some other things. I'll follow up with that even make it even better. But just for me, I can just do a couple drops in a glass of water every 2 or 3 days. And for other people, like Chris, I might have him do 5 drops
Because I need clarity, bro.
every 3 days. You just don't want to overdo it, right? You can overdo it. They talk about it, do it every day. I don't. I think it's too much. But I can tell you, for me, it really does help. I'm dealing with a few health issues myself, just oxygen related, and that really affect your thinking. And so I find that I'm doing things to compensate for that, but the methylene blue, it really helps. It really helps me to concentrate and stay with it. And and then I also find that it causes me to sleep better.
I love sleep.
Sleep is a good thing. So yeah, I'm a big believer in it. I just don't think it's not a healer. It's not going to fix something. It just makes what's going on not permanently better, but better while you're taking it. So, but I think there's a downside if you take too much of it and too often. So,
Yeah,
like anything.
Yep. I mean, my mom told me I ate so many carrots when I was a baby that my feet turned orange, and I don't want to turn blue off this.
Yeah, well, it'll turn your urine blue and make you think. You can put some stuff in a friend's drink and freak them out. So that's kind of cool. So, Eric, we actually even had an extra cigar here for you, man.
Oh, that would have been my first fancy one.
This was my first fancy one. I learned how to cut it.
I don't think I've ever smoked a cigar you couldn't get at a liquor store.
Right before the show, I was like, this is my first one without plastic on the tip. A little black and mild.
So it's wood, you're saying?
No, it's regular. It's hickory.
So typically you smoke cigars in thirds. I mean, it's not like you smoke at a third at a time, but you think of when you're enjoying a cigar, if you're hoity-toity snob like me in cigars, right? No, you think in terms of thirds, because they oftentimes cigars have different character as you smoke them. The first third is different than the last third, and the middle third is different than the other two. So it's kind of cool to experience it. So you're in your first third, Mr. Anderson. What do you think of this?
It's really sweet. It's really the flavor is way different than I thought. Like, it's real flavor.
Yeah, and it's not sweet like infused
chemical
sugar.
No,
it's just got a sweet
tobacco. It's like beech nut when you first put beech nut in your mouth.
Yeah.
Not red man. Beech nut or Levi Garrett, even better. Levi Garrett's even sweeter.
It's like a hockey game. All 3 periods have their own
100%. Great analogy.
So I want to let's talk about investments a little bit, talk about business a little bit. But first, Eric, how about catching me up on life in the fast lane? Are you doing some shows? What's going on in your life?
This is the first time I've picked up a microphone in months. My current studio situation is it's part of the living room, so
that works. That works.
I don't get a lot of time in here.
He moved about an hour away. He used to live
problem.
2 minutes from here, right there.
Yeah.
Well. Yep. Good move.
Yep. Except the commute. The commute really sucks. But yeah, moved out here, got married, got the family.
Oh wow.
solidified or in process of solidifying said family. And
He's got one that's the same 1 year younger than Reagan, maybe, right? They're
yeah,
a year apart,
15.
freshman and sophomore. Yep.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
So
Awesome. Good for you.
and driving an hour a day to run a brake press, not loving that, but
he does work right a minute from here, like right there. We
yeah,
passed
that's-
his work on the way here, on the way home, right there.
What's
Yep.
the update on your perspective, economy wise, running a brake press? I get that, but I mean, looking at, I mean, you got eyes and the head on, and you're looking around
Yeah.
and seeing what's happening in business. What do you see?
Well, we have quarterly meetings, and they told us, I mean, 2024 was an absolute nightmare. We were having rolling shutdowns, working 3 weeks a month and having 1 week off with no pay. If you have vacation, you can use it, great. But if you don't, I guess you're going to have to figure it out this week. And that was rough. And then we all voted correctly, and they told us quarter one was going to be slow, and then it was going to be like a hockey stick. And now it is late April. We're working 50, 60 hours a week. We're making parts
Wow.
for Caterpillar, Bobcat, Oshkosh truck, a lot of USPS mailboxes, C&H, a lot of excavator stuff. These are good. I've been here 15 years. These are all the earmarks of we're about to pick up. Like American manufacturing, I'm almost ready to say is back.
That is a good thing to hear. Now,
Yeah.
if you
Retail and my business and Eric's business is different.
Mhm.
All these people crying
the
on
signs are
internet
different.
about how this is bad. I don't understand. I got the comma back in the paycheck. Like
You got a comma for the decimal point?
I'm paying.
Let's go.
I'm paying all the month's bills in the month again. Like I used to.
You know,
It used to be, well, we got to pick somebody. It looks like Amazon gets a short straw. You're not getting paid this month. Sorry.
I know they're letting people go, Amazon, right? You know, that's another opposite indicator. But I'm curious, Eric. The reports are out today of a GDP was actually a minus, and which was like whoa. So
Is
that
that port related?
gross domestic product. It's overall how much we are producing. And they think that, you know, they're looking at tariffs and trying to blame Trump for everything, right? But they're also looking at the punch of everybody ordering a lot of materials before tariffs hit.
Yeah.
And that's part of production, but they may not, if they can't use it, then that's trouble. But I love that in manufacturing, where you're right in touching the heart of it, that things are clicking. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the last 2 years of the Biden administration was hand to mouth, check to check. It was, and what angered me the most was this motherfucker came out and said, "I'm bringing manufacturing back." It's like, dude, we were crushing it until you showed up.
Yeah,
Crushing it.
That's I don't think the only disagreement I have with you is we're still wondering if he really did ever show up. But
That's true.
whoever was showing up at his stead wasn't.
They did
doing
not
the
give a
right-
fuck about Steelcraft.
No.
Or any place like it.
Well, I'll segue into just kind of looking at crypto a little bit, because I kind of give the show an update to Chris over here because he's the crypto magnet. Just
You said buy at 82. It's over 90 right now, ain't it?
yeah, it should be. Let me see what it is. So the latest, and I have to kind of do systems every day, watching it. And right now, Bitcoin looks like it's about 94, but it's been slow internet here. It's been up to 95.2 today, low of 92, and kind of with the ones I'm watching or involved with are Solana, Bitcoin, SUI, SUI, and a little bit of Ethereum on the side, just a very small percentage. But looking at the systems, it's kind of like there's some interesting things all in place except one key area which keeps you from I'm not going all in. So I've got a cash portion that's probably pretty high on the whole crypto um, allotment. I'm probably 20% cash, and I don't like to have uh, cash on the side unless I'm looking for an opportunity. And I kind of probably updated my percentages to you, Chris, but I really haven't been posting lately. Um,
I know him.
yeah. So Bitcoin and what? What do you think?
I can look.
If I look at
I thought we had just sold.
yeah, I do
You
a
were
lot
like
of
35%. I gotta find it.
I transfer back and forth to put things up. I'm about 55% in a SWE. I'm only about 15% into Bitcoin right now, and I got a little
8% in the Bitcoin last time I was.
Yeah.
8 point.
Okay, that's probably a little low, but yeah. So anyway, I'm looking at all the signals are looking pretty bullish, except something that just makes you hang on and be patient. So emotionally, just like gambling, you can't be emotional about things, or else you really have a sad, long winter or summer after the Bucks had that amazing show the other night.
Fucking jokes.
Up 7 with 42 seconds left. Can't put it away.
Literally watches the ball walk through his legs. After he hit like 5 threes, I just like, what's going on here? Is he part of the fix?
Yeah. Yes. Sometimes
Maybe.
I'm like, you can't. These are professionals. You can't close out a 7-point lead in 42 seconds. Come on, man. Come on.
So all that said, I feel like we're primed. And again, it's not predicting; it's probabilities, right? I'm not a predictor. I'm not God. Don't know, but I like the odds in my favor, right? And so I'm looking at a short jump, like it's going to go up, and people are going to be finally off the bandwagon. The retail crowd, which is not, I don't knock the retail crowd, but they're like Johnny come lately trying to make, a buck, kind of day trading. And we're in a trend trading situation, not day trading. So I think there's going to be a jump, and it's coming. And then a bunch of people are going to jump in, and then it's going to crash.
Yep.
And not crash like big. I think it might jump up to 100, maybe 100 would be plenty. For Bitcoin, just talk about one because it's too hard to remember all the numbers for everybody. But let's say Bitcoin jumps up to 98 to 100K. And maybe
if it flirted just under 100, wouldn't a lot of people want to get in before it cracked 100?
Yeah. And they're going to jump in. That's what's going to happen. And so probability. And then it's going to go down to maybe all the way down 84, maybe 76, 79, 80, 82. And people are going to scream bloody murder and jump out and lose. And then it's going to go up and a good trajectory on good, steady up for 6-8 months. So, and not that it'll have its up and downs, but it's going to be trending up. So I'm looking for a bump up, and I'm in because I don't want to be misallocated. I don't care if I watch it go down because I'm not going to scream, right? I'm in, right? But I've got 20% more where I want to watch it go up and then go down, and then I'm going to jump in at that little valley, and I don't care if I catch it perfectly or not. And then I'm just going to ride it out. And we'll have a show next week, and you'll say, Tim, what about that?
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of that's my Bitcoin update. We have the methylene blue and the cigars and the Bitcoin. Now we'll turn it over to you, Chris.
What are we doing now? MC you do some business.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about, okay, so what did we do last week? Last week we were talking about Power Washing Company.
Yeah. So
Update on that is we did secure an LLC and we're going after it.
yeah, and we got our good buddy Eric here to discuss the details in public.
Yeah, now he's committed.
I'm
So-
in.
Now you're committed. E.
No, we
It's
have a
so
lot.
weird because I was listening. Do you know who Chris Kerner is? He's a small business entrepreneur, like big social media
Yes,
presence.
talk about this.
He's always on Facebook and Twitter making short videos about business ideas. He always starts his videos with the same thing. He says, "Look at this freaking thing right here," and then he shows you the product and he shows you how easy it is to make and how much these people are making, and then he tells you that you're just lazy if you don't want to do this. And he had a guy, he also has a podcast. I started listening to his podcast. He had a guy on who pressure washes coils for refrigerators in gas stations and food stores and stuff like that. And he's talking about how he's making $1,200, $1,800 a stop. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I could just get myself a pickup truck and a little gun and have Chris teach me what a coil is and go around and start doing this stuff. And then you guys started talking about that. I got a hold of Chris. I'm like, I was just thinking about this. It's just very weird how it all happened in like the same 10-day period.
Yeah,
But
very interesting. If you look at the top 10 businesses to start, over and over, you'll see power washing in one of the top two. And right now in media, but also in reality. But it's also a fad. So what you've stated is something that's unique about that, and because anybody, the entry level is none, right? You can
There's no barrier to entry.
no barrier. You just go. You can do sidewalks, front of stores. You can do
We borrow the power washer from Dad and get after it.
and you can do fences, whatever you want to do. But there's a key component, and we're not going to discuss live, but we're all about discussing entrepreneuring and boys becoming men and prospering and investing and taking care of our families and being great dads. And you mentioned Chris, guns and teaching, and that, I mean, that's a big plus right there.
But
I
heard
I
him, like
know-
he's working on HVAC units. I got a guy who can tell me exactly how to do this job.
And the key to that is being a differentiator from everybody else, because the reality is you can ruin HVAC equipment pretty quickly.
Very quickly.
If you don't,
I've had technicians do it.
and so one, you need to know what you're doing, and two, everybody that's doing it now, we've kind of discerned they're missing some elements that make
Yes.
the differentiator, and that's what we started, and we've got some good inside clients, as you can only imagine, and we're our concerns about scaling up, because that's where you become vulnerable, right? Most businesses fail in good times because they grow, and then they expand, and then tough times come, and then they get sucking wind, right? Trying to make it. So this is like you're stating, there's just a unique opportunity if you have the right equipment and you do things where you're autonomous, meaning that you're all self-contained. You don't need anything from the customer or the client. You show up all self-contained, your own water, your own, and we can do it. We figured out a way to do it without chemicals, because that's a hard one to overcome, and do it more effectively. And then, so our issue is training, finding good people, putting good systems in place. And I don't know how much has Chris talked to you about this, Eric, but one of the things that's really important to me, and Chris too, is kind of the purpose of the show, is that we want to bring people on board and help them create their own business so they can be truly autonomous too.
Teach a man to fish.
Yeah, and not just being a self-contractor, independent contractor, or something like that, where they get a 1099 at the end of the year and they're sucking wind because they don't know how to pay their taxes because they didn't set aside money. Now we want to set up everybody in business, in a true business, not just sending a 1099, but a true business where they can offset expenses, be wise about how they procure things, and so then they're prospering and they're taking their increase and investing it, and they got something to fall back on. It's themselves, right? And I think that's one of the differentiators. Some of the special equipment is a differentiator, and then having the clients. And the issue is like I said, a lot of businesses fail in good times because they think good times are going to be forever, and they grow, and then tough times come and they lose. They can't make it. So we want to grow smartly. We don't want to
strategically.
Yes, strategic growth. I've heard this term before. Now I kind of understand what it means.
But it all starts with an idea. Well, it all starts with the first customer, right, Tim?
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about scaling. It's all phenomenal stuff to talk about. But the actual putting one foot in front of the other and opening it up and getting it done, this is the hard part for knuckle draggers, in my opinion. Now, I think we're all really good just because I've been around us for 48 years about talking. I've listened to some really good ideas, but the whole gonna start a business can maybe it's a little overwhelming, especially from scratch. So the idea is stop at the beer cooler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Most so of the time. Here's what we're just gonna get past the beer cooler and get the feet working in front of the other. And here's where Tim comes in, because where I'm like, holy f, blah blah blah. Tim's like, yeah, it's easy. Yeah, it's easy. Okay.
So brain surgery is easy if you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So right now, let's go by. Let's start by talking. And Eric, if this puts you to sleep, then just say, "Hey, you guys need to get on to a new topic." But just let us know.
I'm locked in, as the kids say.
All right.
They do.
So now you can pull that other band off.
Okay.
Yeah, and give us. Now you're in the middle of the 2/3. So how's the cigar?
It's phenomenal. It's a little relaxing. Physically, but not like cigarette where you get dizzy or too much or that first cigarette when you're a kid. This is just relaxing.
Oh.
It tastes so good too, and it doesn't have that whole. I can't explain it. When you smoke a cigarette, you feel like you taste like ash. I could taste it. Yeah, it's a taste
right
in your throat. None of that's there.
A lot of times people have a bad experience with a cigar. Either with a trashy cigar or when they started young, or just not knowing how to smoke it. They inhale it or breathe it too fast, and they wake up the next day with their tongue, their teeth, and they're just like, I'm sick from a cigar. And cigars can make you sick. They're all different types, right? But if you realize what cigars are for, they're for you to put the phone down, have a real conversation, and they slow everything down. And then I don't have any aftertaste in the morning or anything like that.
It tastes good on my lips, honestly. But I got a question. Is it okay to chew on it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get more aggressive. You know, I we're on air, so I really don't talk about how many cigars I might have in over a certain period of time. So,
Okay.
but yeah, yeah, I'm all in on cigars.
You are a fan.
Um, so Chris put his lawyer hat on today, and tell us what you did this week in creating.
So yeah, we did start. So the first step I've learned is we started a LLC, started a company.
Yeah, and so who did the paperwork on the LLC, Mister Anderson?
I did.
You did. Mr. Knuckle Dragger over there
Yes,
created
yes,
an
I did do
LLC.
that.
Yeah. And it really wasn't that difficult. Now, I was there on the line,
Yep,
right?
yep,
But you interacted with the company and you created it.
yes.
Yeah. And
We'll
so
say that.
it wasn't it wasn't that difficult. Really.
No, in fact, it's almost scary easy. um, it's just one of those things that I blow up in my head,
Mm-hmm.
right? Never,
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
It's much. It's all this. We got to hire attorneys. We got to call the Is this what congressmen are for? Do we got to call our congressman?
And
So, but it's not.
the confused mind should say no and often does, but when it's simplified it's not that difficult. And then the unknowns, fear is a crippler, right? So you jump in and you tackle fear. And a couple key things I'd like for Knuckle Dragger University to know is that we don't offer legal advice. But man, we got a legal genius sitting next to us that started the LLC, right? It's and
Oh, Tim.
I like
Chris Anderson, Esquire.
yeah. I like multi-membered LLCs, and I'm kind of fond of, depending on what you're going to do with it, and not providing legal advice. I'm just saying what I like. I'm out of Wyoming because they have certain benefits there that are rare to find in other states.
Still America there.
Still America there. And so we did multi-membered. It is not member managed. It's managed by a manager, and those are the key concepts to get started with. And now you can interface as an LLC with a large company or small company, whatever, but it's not Tim or Chris or Eric. It's an LLC that's interacting, and that has lots of advantages when it comes to personal liability and growth and liability from our day and age. And I'm not talking about doing something wrong. I'm talking about a lot of times attorneys have assistants that look for nothing but assets, and they find assets and then they figure out a way to sue for those assets. It has nothing to
That
do
is
with
finding the crime, and then I'll find you the person.
yeah.
Yep.
Has
Show
nothing
me
to
the
do
man
with
Shit.
without
truth.
crime.
Yeah.
So we like to be able to have truth in charge, and we can choose and should always choose to do the right thing. But we'd like to be in that choice process, not when people are deciding, well, he has assets, dead people's holdings. We want to go after them. So that's what we created today. Not today, but this week, and got
Yep.
everything official. And that's the first step.
Got us a little EIN today.
Yep. Yeah.
So now we can get a bank account.
Go get a bank account. So we're off and running.
That's a winner.
Yeah.
That's a key part of the business.
Yeah. So, all right. What's up? What's next?
Now, so this week, so last week was create the business. This week is going to be a deep dive into what kind of equipment do we want? What kind of equipment do we need? What can we afford?
Well,
What's inside the budget? What are we? what is our key customer, or our key, what kind of mechanical machine are we washing? So what kind of water do we need? Do we need high pressure, low pressure, steam, hot water, cold water? So, and this is where we start to break things down, right? And differentiate ourselves. So we won't do all that live because it's ours.
Proprietary.
Proprietary.
But I will tell you that these are things that I didn't realize that Tim is, quote unquote, teaching me. I'm going to say teach. I say teach me. He's just talking. So Tim will say, hey, I'm just asking questions. But his questions make you think and go, wait, oh, and then that will come to another thought. So what I've always done before as a knuckle dragger is grab my tools and start beating on it, and then halfway into the project go, so what was wrong with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So Tim is more of a, hey, let's see what's wrong with it, and then let's just fix that one part.
Instead of brute force, let's try a little
Let's
tact.
talk it out first. So we've been doing that for about 8 months now. A lot. I've learned a lot. Not from like, yes, Tim's teaching me, but some of it is he's just asking me questions and making me think about it myself.
Yeah. They're they
Because
have,
maybe the answer Tim gives is different than the answer that I'm going to give because we're two different humans.
Right,
And then we come out with some
absolutely.
great ideas when we both
Absolutely.
do that.
1 and 1 equal 8. Is
One equals 8 in the other dimension.
Well, and then I think uh, the answers that often I'll say is, it's really about being an antenna, and not an antenna to broadcast, but an antenna to receive. Because some of the things that just through discussion around cigars, you'd just be amazed at what comes to you, and they're beyond what you would originally do. You've said it often, Chris, that you would have sold yourself so short.
Oh, Eric's heard me say this.
Mhm.
If I start a project and then I give you and I tell you this is the outcome I'm hoping for, 100% of the time I've sold myself short. Because I can't even comprehend the good that's going to come. And then halfway through the journey, you're shaking hands, you're meeting people, the journey shifts. I could tell you, as long as me and Eric have known each other, our lives have taken so many turns just from shaking hands and suiting up and showing up.
Yep.
Suit up and show up. Suit up and show up.
So this for a simple little topic of often often what I don't like, and it seems counterintuitive, is I don't like business plans that ask questions. Well, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or business plans that are put together so that people can get a loan for a business, and then
this is not a scam. All Americans can.
This is a scam. So
I'm sharing the show out. Sorry.
No,
he's here, so now I can be the producer all of a sudden.
Yeah. So oftentimes business plans are created for a single objective of the next step, and then the business plan is put on the shelf. And I think it's a waste of time for many business plans that aren't living or aren't guiding and used on a daily or regular basis. And so I think it's important. We even ran into this. I called Chris the other night. We had a huge opportunity, but it was a flanker market. It wasn't the primary thing what we're doing. And I said, we could take this opportunity, and we could never be or become or get to the primary product and service, because this would take all of our time, and it wouldn't differentiate us. And so how we approach this, it has to follow into our wheelhouse of what we want to offer. And sometimes that's the other side of it. You get other opportunities, but doesn't mean that you need to take them all. And so how do you keep from going down a rabbit trail of opportunities that may just keep you away from doing what you intended or wanted to do in the first place. And so to me is having a living business plan, and you keep it simple. I like to know what the key objectives are. They could be 8 of them, there could be 3 of them, no more than 8, and probably no less than 3. And you just line out on paper, hey, this is the objective. We want to offer this type of quality of service. We want to have this part of the market share, and this is where we want to be dominating the market in, being better than everybody, than average, and then being average. Because we talked about, you can't have I've mentioned a Yugo. You remember the old Yugo Russian cars, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
That they were, you brought your toolbox.
Yep.
And so I said, you can't have a Yugo price and a 7-Eleven access with a Four Seasons experience and a Ferrari's quality and Federal Express service. If you try to do that in all of your product, you're gonna go broke, right? So
It's usually you can have a good, cheap, or fast pick 2. Because if it's good and cheap, it's not going to be fast. If it's good and fast, it's not going to be cheap. And if
right.
it's cheap and fast, it's not going to be good.
Exactly. And so it's figuring out that niche to the best you can, and then moving forward. But it's really, it's like in my investing, I use systems, and I'm continually tweaking and building and making the systems better. We talked that about work today, Chris, right?
I want to say for knuckle draggers. So for me, for where it was, I was very nervous. I started eating again today. My appetite's back. Not nervous. I wouldn't say nervous. I just say a little anxiety. Sometimes if I can't see exactly what something's going to be, it makes
Mhm.
me nervous. So, but I get over that. But
Yeah, there's a lot I can't
so the
picture.
business. So I think what Tim did the other night for me, that calmed me down and let me go, okay, is is the business plan is it's evergreen, right? So like everything he ever talks about in systems, if it's not working, you tweak it. So it's like we start a power washing company. If we get a customer and it doesn't work out, we just get another customer. It's not that you just shut the doors right now. That's not what it is. So I had to think through all that. Like I don't have to. Everything doesn't have to be exactly perfect because then nothing. I never get anything done. Like I can't get started. So you just get started and make it perfect by the end.
Mm-hmm. And
So
then
putting the wings on, uh, when you're already in the air, kind of. But we might have to adjust the wings. We might have to adjust the direction, and that's okay. Like that's okay.
Right. Right.
But you do have to start. If I've learned anything in the last 8 months, it's Tim wants to go. And then he wants to make money right now. We don't have to plan out making money in 6 months.
No, procrastination is a horrific thing.
You said it kills a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of people just afraid of the juice. You got to get the juice, and the juice is the money, right?
Mhm.
And it's not about money per se for a new Ferrari or what have you, or a boat. It's really diving deeper and getting a greater sense of pleasure out of influence and making a difference. And those types of, we were talking about things that really give us pleasure are the rewarding things of seeing somebody grow, make changes, and prosper. That is huge. So
One other thing that happened since I met Tim is he's like, "What is wealthy? What do you want? I want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. What's wealthy? Well, what do you like? How much things or stuff out there that you want that you don't have?" And I had to think about that. Like, there isn't. I mean, for a long time, it was like my kids underneath my roof, but that's done now.
yeah.
I don't need anything, and I don't. If I want for anything, I just I'm pretty good now.
Well, you can measure a man's wealth by how few wants he has.
Yeah, that's what it was. I just don't have any wants right now.
And that's, I mean, if you, I use a bad analogy, but if you have a wino on the side of the street with a paper bag and a bottle in it, and he could be considered a pretty wealthy man if that's everything he
If he's
wants.
content,
Right?
he doesn't want anything else.
So there is an old proverb. I think it's Proverb 13:12. I could be wrong on that, and it goes something like a oh, what is it? It's about happiness. You know, looking. What is that, man? I bring something up that I can't remember. I need my methyl blue. It's like a hope deferred makes the heart sick. So a hope, it's wanting something you don't have will make your heart sick. And that is true. When you think about a sick heart is I mean, not just physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, whatever. And that's about wanting things you don't have. And then the second part of the proverb, it says, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. And you think about that, if you Tim's translation is, if you want what you have, it's a good thing. So but practically, you know, for Knuckle Dragger University is one of our first conversations, Chris, was about the Sacred Six.
Yes.
And it's picking no more than 6 things, but at least a couple things that are really important in life. And then making a plan, and not a 5-year plan, but a 60-day, 6-month plan. You want to know what it looks like in 60 days. And then every day between now and the 60th day, you outline the steps to get there. And then you want to know what it looks like in 6 months, and you put a plan together to make that happen, and don't plan anything beyond 6 months, and life's pretty good. So
That's a solid plan.
mm-hmm.
The Sacred Six is a little bit life changing as well mentally. For me, it was. Helped me refocus my whole entire being. Probably how the podcasting kind of hasn't been, like the sports podcasting hasn't been number one in my life lately, because it's not in the Sacred Six right now. It just didn't make the cut right now. I got other things going on.
So in a generally speaking, what are some of the good things that have happened with kind of a newfound focus for you? I mean, I could say specifically, I don't want you to have to share anything you don't want to share.
Well, for me, well, one of the biggest changes for me personally, physically and mentally, was waking up and taking a cold shower in the morning and doing push-ups to failure and drinking a glass of lemon water, all free. Well, the lemons do cost, but you don't have to use lemon water. Whatever, just drink some water. So that I don't know what it did. I had an appetite in probably 8 months before I met Tim. It'd been a while. I'd lost probably 40 pounds, 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were. I'd never seen you that skinny.
All my muscle just gone. I was pretty. Anyways, so I don't. Tim, what exactly did it do?
Well, again, just was listening, interacting. Some of our interactions on the sports show, I was the more of a chatter on a chat deal, but just you called me up and asked me some health questions, I think.
Yeah. I was at a kind of at a loss of what was going on. And I had a doctor that was trying to shove me full of fucking pills.
Rarely the answer.
No. And it's always the drive. It's like a McDonald's fucking drive-through at the doctor's. It's like you walk in, you got 3 minutes, get it
Yeah.
done.
Here's
and-
all the drugs I'm sponsored by. Take 2 of these, 4 of
Yeah.
these, 3 of these.
And because you're taking these, you're gonna have some side effects.
Yeah.
Come back and see
You're
me.
gonna need
here,
this.
because you're gonna need this other thing.
Now, when you take this an hour later.
So, one, this was actually, I've been doing cold water. The cold plunge and all the ice baths and cold showers. It's a kind of big thing in the news or in the health arena for the last couple of years. But many years ago, and I'll have to think of his name. There's a guy that did the science behind it, and he was talking about it, and he's probably in his 90s now. So it's been around a long time, just kind of caught wind. But the reality is, we think what happens is if you get sprayed down with warm water and dropped off of a helicopter in the Antarctic in December, naked, your body's going to do a few things to think about how we're going to survive. And one of those things is going to go into shock, right? And the shock is like, well, in an emergency, at an accident or something like that, physicians are concerned about when a patient goes into shock because the organs shut down or whatever. And they're thinking big picture, and that's a problem. But the reality is the body's trying to survive, and so it's shutting down things. So it's very minimalistic, so it has the best opportunity to survive. So an element, when you run cold water, particularly on your face, and then in the middle of your neck and the back and all over that at a shock when you jump in, the body's saying, uh-oh, we're just dropped off in the Antarctic. And so it's a pre-shock kind of deal. And one of the things in our pathway system of our immune system, it goes into work overtime, and it jacks up to protect. And you get that in a 3-minute, 2-minute cold shower like none other. You feel awake.
Yeah.
And you feel like, wow, I can start the day, and now if you stayed in the Antarctic, you'd have some trouble, but that's just a great little shot of adrenaline. And I could go into lots of details about, different types of cholesterol that they've always said is bad when it's not true. But we have this little Pac-Man that eats fat cells, and fat cells are one of the systems that the body uses a fat cell to encapsulate a toxin, a xenobiotic, they would call them, and they're a toxin that the liver or the system, the gut or whatever, didn't get rid of completely. And if it's not encapsulated by a fat cell, it can show up in tissue that is vulnerable, like eyes and kidneys and brain. And so you don't want these toxins not being eliminated, but if they're not eliminated, then you want them to be protected, and that's what the fat cell does. So this little Pac-Man HCl lives inside us. It loves to take the hammock when we're supposed to be resting in the hammock. It loves to jump in that hammock and take a break, right? And his partner is our adrenal glands. The adrenal glands jump in the hammock too, and they're lazy. And it's the middle of July, and we got one of those, attic entrances that's just a square block in the garage ceiling.
Yep.
And so, and you got to get up in the attic, and but that means going grabbing the ladder, and it's 126 degrees up there in the attic, and you don't want to get up there. But it's the adrenal's job and the HCL's job, the little Pac-Man, is to go get the ladder and go up and get to work in the attic. And but they're on the hammock, and they stay on the hammock because we drink our coffee in the morning and we shock it with caffeine. That's the adrenal's job, is to pump some little adrenaline in you and get you going. And that's what happens in that cold shower, by the way. And then when we don't eat sugar, like remember Mr. Candyman over here?
Yes.
Sugar says, "Hey,
Feel like
Pac-Man,
it.
stay in the hammock. Take the day off. I'll bring you some iced tea, and it'll be sweet iced tea, right?" And so we have to teach and remember that our adrenals are supposed to serve us, not the other way around. And that's what's happened in modern day medicine. It's broken. We want a pill to take care of bad adrenals and drink an energy drink to get a little energy. And what happens naturally when you jump in a cold shower first thing in the morning is says, "Oh, those adrenals," and you do it 3 days in a row. The adrenal glands and the Pac-Man are saying, "Damn it, this guy's serious. This is the 3rd day in a row. We got to go out in the garage, grab the ladder, get up in the attic. He's serious." The 4th day, what happens, Mr. Adrenal, Mr. Pac-Man? They're out in the garage with the ladder, pushing the door open in the attic, right? They've learned he's going to do this. I hate being thrown on the ground from the hammock. I'm just going to go get my job done, and then we'll be good. And then the body is amazing. It starts doing what it's supposed to do, and it's phenomenal. And then it gets rid of crap. You start detoxing, and everything's better. It's amazing if you give the body environment to do something. It'll heal everything.
And then a few push-ups for the babe. That's for your biceps for the babes.
And your
No.
testosterone gets bigger. Now that's the Mayo Clinic abstract in my explanation there. That's what you'll find there if you just read that.
Well, I'm gonna add that to my morning routine. Get a little bowl of ice water going, dunk my face in there.
Oh yeah,
Just jump in the shower, dude.
I
Get
don't
in the
know.
cold shower.
Of-
Just you got to learn to embrace the suck as a man too. Some of that is just learning how to fucking
Well,
just
I
be
would,
a little
but
miserable.
it's 3:15 a.m. I don't want to wake people up.
You could do that at 3:14. Ain't nobody gonna say a word.
Speaking of, I got to get to bed. That alarm's going off at 3:05.
All
This
right.
has been awesome. It's good to talk to you direct, Tim.
Yeah.
This is I look forward to doing that more often.
Oh, please do anytime, and I'd love to have you every time. So that would be great. So
I will
Well,
be
have a
in
good
touch.
night, brother.
Thank you, boys. You too.
All right.
good
Later.
night, Eric. All right, sir.
All right.
You know, a good show's about a cigar length, right?
Yeah. Say it again.
No, you're good. Go for it. Chris is doing production work here.
I like it. And we're back.
We're back.
Well, I did smoke about a whole cigar, Tim.
Yeah, that's about all you need. It's been good.
All right. Well, we did get Bitcoin. We got business.
Good show.
I hope everybody has an excellent night. Hour 18. Perfect. We will see you guys next week, Marielle. You have a good evening. And Rocket. And we're gonna mourn the rat with you. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.